So Richard Pryor turned down the role of Eddie Murphy's character in 48 Hours would have been him and Nick Nolte. What do I think about that? I can see it because at the stage, him and Nick Nolte, I don't know if it would have played quite the same as Nolte did with Eddie Murphy. I thought I think that what ended up happening with Eddie Murphy in another 48 hours is where it would have been in the first 48 hours. I don't know if it would have been quite as sharp because it took a type of aura, and I think it required a little bit younger to pull it off. So I'm thinking that that was a smart move. In hindsight, I think it was a smart, very, very wise move. At the time, though, Richard was just he was one of those cats that he could do what he wanted to do, but I don't know if that would have necessarily, would have transpired. So it's a smart move that he didn't take that particular role. I mean, him and Nick Nolte might have been butting heads, and I think that there was a conflict of interest there. So I don't know if that would have necessarily worked. Whereas with Eddie, that being his first movie, and you had that looseness, because Eddie was a different type of actor when you watch his old movies, especially when he was first starting, than when he became seasoned. When he got seasoned, you started to see him kind of take a different demeanor after coming to America, and then he got into a different type of groove. But that early him, you could see the greenery, and it was like coming, and that youth was there. And Pryor, the juice with Pryor was a little bit different. So, um, 48 Hours would have been good, but I don't know if it had still had the same pick and pop as it did with Murphy and Nolte, because I think the yin and the yang. And again, when you have a co-star, it's got to be somebody that you can't imagine Nick Nolte trying to slap up on Richard Pryor. That'd have been funny in itself. I don't know if you'd have gotten the movie done because, you know, it just hits differently watching someone younger and being in that kind of situation. Because the Richard Pryor with Jackie Gleason and the toy just was cringy and it didn't really connect like it should have. And again, there's certain type of characteristics that there are certain people that you feed off of where you see the versatility. Like when I saw uh, Pryor with Gene Wilder, they were almost unstoppable. Their syncopation was amazing. I don't know if you can do that with just anybody. So again, that's we can call it a judgment call. It's kind of like interesting how you look at it, but um, different films hit in different ways, different things that we long to say. So it all depends on how we look at that, though. It really does. But I think that that was a pretty good, that was pretty distinctive with that though. That did not come to pass, and I think he made the right choice with that. You know, people might say otherwise with the banks and all that, but I think he made the right choice. But anyway, I definitely, where I'm looking at that though. So yeah, it was definitely something that it made logical sense that he did not, take that movie, and you know, we you can speculate years from now and say, well, would have been different. It may not have hit. It may not have hit. It's interesting that Eddie Murphy's first two movies were offered to Richard Pryor. That was 48 Hours and Trading Places. How might things have been different? But see, by that time, Richard wasn't in his prime and his peak on as far as the film game go. He could still have a hit, but kind of like what you saw at Brewster's Millions with him and John Candy, that's kind of where he was. So they missed out on it. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another, and share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace. And Richard Pryor was still the GOAT to me as far as comedians. I'm out.